Okay, so let's talk about the giants in the Bible. And no, I don't mean your 7-foot-tall uncle who eats all the food at the family barbecue. I mean the ones from Genesis to David and Goliath. Who were these guys, and what do they mean for us today? Let's dive in. Genesis 6 starts with a mystery. That the sons of God saw the daughters of men that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. Now, some folks say, see, angels married women and had giant babies. But hold on, Jesus cleared this up in Matthew 22 and verse 30. It reads, "For in the resurrection they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are as the angels of God in heaven." Marriage and reproduction are gifts God gave to humanity. Jesus said angels don't marry, which means reproduction simply isn't part of their design. Their purpose is to serve as God's messengers, not to multiply like men. So who are the sons of God? Scripture explains, "Then began men to call upon the name of the Lord." This was the line of Seth. John 1 and verse 12 says, "But as many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of God, even to them that believe on his name." And Romans 8 and verse 14 reads, "For as many as are led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons of God." These verses are clear, and the sons of God in the context are people who are following Jehovah. So, sons of God equals the godly line of Seth. Daughters of men equals the ungodly line of Cain. When they mixed, holiness was compromised. And out of that corruption came the so-called giants, not superheroes, just powerful and violent rulers. Genesis 6 and verse 4 says, "There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, the same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown." These weren't angel-human hybrids. They were mighty men, famous for violence and power. And remember, before the flood, people lived much longer and were of far greater stature than today. Adam himself was described as of noble height and strength, and his descendants carried that same physical advantage. So when the Bible speaks of giants in those days, it points not only to their power and reputation, but also to the sheer size and strength of humanity before the flood. Genesis 6 verse 5 continues, "And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. So God sent the flood. And every living substance was destroyed, which was upon the face of the ground. And Noah only remained alive, and they that were with him in the ark." End of pre-flood giants. But then, giants show up again. Different this time. Let's look. The Anakim. We saw the giants, and we were in our own sight as grasshoppers. King Og of Bashan. His bed was 13 feet long. That's not a bed, that's a billboard. The Philistines. Goliath stood over 9 feet tall, and his relatives had 6 fingers and 6 toes. So yes, giants after the flood were real, but unlike before, they weren't everywhere, just certain tribes and warriors. So what does this mean for us? We may not fight 9-foot Philistines, but we face giants of another kind. Fear can be a giant. Addiction can be a giant. Doubt, pride, temptation, all giants. David said to Goliath, "The battle is the Lord's, and he will give you into our hands." And Paul writes, "For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds." So, who were the giants? Before the flood, humanity was larger, stronger, and longer lived. But when the righteous line of Seth mixed with the wicked line of Cain, compromise bred corruption. Out of that union came men of great size and power, mighty in the earth, but mighty in wickedness. After the flood, only a few tribes and warriors were noted for unusual height, like the Anakim and Goliath. But the lesson isn't about how tall men once stood. It's about how great our God still is, and how he gives victory over every giant we face. So whatever giant you're facing today, pick up your sling of faith, because the same God who gave David victory is still fighting battles today. Thanks for watching. And hey, don't let your giants scare you. Let them remind you how powerful your God really is. So whatever giant you face, remember, in all these things, we are more than conquerors through Him that loved us.